Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Birds at the Rodeo. I'm Eric, your resident Eagles fan.
I'm Orlando, the resident Cowboys fan.
And we got some interesting things to get into today, man. NBA free agency has kicked off. A lot of moves have happened.
Like we said, last episode, it started from day one.
Yep.
As soon as the season ended, it hasn't stopped.
Right.
It started with... What was the first move that kind of happened since our last episode?
Man, honestly, I feel like, no pun intended, but I feel like it was the move that kind of kicked things off. I mean, it was, granted, you can call it a big move or not, but the Bulls traded Lonzo Ball to Cleveland for Isaac Okoro. Speaking as a Bulls fan, it's funny. You go online, man, there's a lot of negative, just pessimistic Bulls fans right now, which I understand it. Like our team, our front office hasn't given us any reason to have any hope. I like to try to view the positives of every move we make. So, I mean, for Cleveland, man, you get a solid backup point guard, Lonzo Ball, possibly a starter, because there's been some talk of them trading Darius Garland. I don't know if that'll happen. If it does, so be it. If you do, you have a capable starter in Lonzo Ball.
Definitely. Defensive specialist.
Right. Elite two-way point guard when healthy. So I like the move for Cleveland. In terms of us for the Bulls, I like the move just because it's at least us trying to fix the small forward spot. As I've said many times on the show, Patrick Williams is a bust. He was supposed to be our next 3-and-D demon. He has not done that. And I know Isaac Okoro, he was kind of, first-round draft pick for Cleveland, kind of rode the bench a little bit. But I know he's a 3-and-D guy, right? Like, I know he's capable of doing something. So, I mean, at this point, we have nothing to lose, right? We have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I'm here for it. Hopefully, Isaac Okoro can find his footing in Chicago, and we can go from there, man. So, yeah, just my 2 cents on the move. I like it for both sides. And like I said, hopefully, Isaac Okoro can give us something.
No, I agree with everything you said. It's a new direction in terms of giving Isaac Okoro a change of scenery. Same thing for Lonzo. It's not that his whole thing, obviously, is just staying healthy and just being able to stay on that court and showing the player he can be. So I agree with you. Like you said, like it for both sides. It's an addition for both teams that they both can use to go in a positive direction.
Right. Now, forgive us if we miss a few moves here and there that throughout the league. It's been a lot of stuff happening, but we're going to try to hit all the major points. We just talked about Bulls, so let's talk about your Lakers, man. LeBron has officially picked up his option. We knew that was coming. Y'all were on the quest for a big man. Y'all got a big man.
Right.
I don't call him this. He calls himself this. Dominating. DeAndre dominating Aiden.
Disgusting.
I hate that. Yeah, I just... Yeah. You can't call yourself that. Somebody, you have to earn that nickname. I'm sorry.
He has not.
No, he has not. But nevertheless, y'all have signed the former first overall draft pick, DeAndre Ayton, career averages of 16 or 17 points. He averages a double-double. So,
for sure.
How do you feel, man? I know you didn't want Miles Turner. We'll get into that in a minute.
Right.
You got DeAndre Ayton. Got him on probably a pretty cheap deal because he had a buyout with Portland, and we know they're paying out a lot of money for that. So, how do you feel?
I'm happy with it. It's definitely exactly one of the best options we could have asked for.
Yeah.
One of the best available options with the biggest thing that the team needed.
Yeah.
I think that obviously he's a big lob threat guy, so playing with Luka, he'll be able to fit right in. He's a big man that actually rebounds the ball, which is why I did not want Miles Turner. I think that defensively, he can protect the rim. I think
he has the capability.
He has the capability. I hope to see that ability improve a little because that was one of not having a big man was a big problem because we had zero rim protection.
Right.
We were small down low in the paint in the trenches. So hopefully he can be big down there, make his presence felt around the rim, and I can't really be mad at it. Obviously, like you said, it's the team trying something.
Right.
Just not twiddling their thumbs, not doing anything, letting us go into the season lacking a big man again. So I think that rookie. Give them an A for the effort, and we'll see if he can, if he earns that nickname here.
Right. Yeah, man. It's funny. You talk to a lot of folks, and it's like they're either not fans of DeAndre Jordan or DeAndre Ayton. I'm sorry, DeAndre Ayton's game. They're not a fan of the move for the Lakers. And I mean, to me, like I said, I don't know exactly the details of the contract, but I know it's cheap. Because,
for sure, that was definitely another big aspect.
Right.
It didn't cost too much.
No,
we had to trade anything, give up anybody. Because we have lost some people. Dorian Finney-Smith went to Houston.
Yep.
So
how do you feel about that?
Kind of sad about it, especially knowing that's one of Luka's guys.
Yeah.
But just even given his short time here, I loved what he brought to the team.
Right.
Like you said, Isaac Okoro or Patrick Williams not being a 3-and-D guy. Dorian Finney-Smith was absolutely a 3-and-D guy.
Yes.
So
I'm kind of surprised he went to Houston for that money too. I'm not gonna lie.
Houston's looking like
Houston and Denver, man. They are the teams in the West making the moves.
Right. Actually, if you look at it, Houston and Dallas is looking really good too as well.
Who did they bring in? I know they brought in D'Angelo Russell. That kind of shocked me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, who else? The Mavericks, they brought in D'Angelo Russell.
Obviously drafted Cooper Flagg.
That's like, it's almost like, I don't even know, like, you don't even think about, like, you should now, right, because he's officially a Dallas Maverick, but you don't even think about that with their team right now.
Right.
But yeah, man, for the Lakers, I give them kudos for trying, for doing something, right? DeAndre Ayton, you could do a lot worse. They re-signed Jackson Hayes to a 1-year deal. Right. So obviously he'll be the backup center. You can do a lot worse than DeAndre Ayton. So, yeah, man, for the Lakers, kudos to y'all for making that move. DeAndre Ayton is still young. I think he's like, 27, 28? So
gotta be, yeah.
Yeah, so, if you found your next center or Luka's next center for the next 5-7 years, man, hey, go ahead, right? Because you're going to need to find that partner guard for Luka, post LeBron. So, I'm not mad at it. Like I said, kudos to the Lakers for trying. You had to go get a big man, and he was probably one of the best available. And really, no one thought he was going to be available like that, because I was kind of shocked when I saw that him and Portland agreed to a buyout. Right. But DeAndre Ayton's contract, like the contract he was on, it was going to be hard. It was going to be hard to trade that contract. So kudos to the Lakers on making that move, man. We kind of touched on it. I guess we can go this route too, because we're kind of already discussing it. Houston, Denver, you feel like Dallas. Me personally, I feel like the biggest winners right now, early on free agency, Houston and Denver. And I got to give credit to the Denver Nuggets because, number one, and I'm not going to lie to you, I was kind of shocked. I was shocked and a little bit floored when I saw that they traded Michael Porter Jr. only because their owners had literally come out and said, we are not trading him because he went to Mizzou. He was a Mizzou guy, and the owners were not trading him. Lo and behold, they traded Michael Porter Jr., and I think they traded a first-round draft pick, too, to go get Cam Johnson. Yeah. So kudos to the Denver Nuggets for doing that. I love Cam Johnson as a player. He's kind of the epitome of two-way forward. He can stretch the floor. I love Cam Johnson. He's on a much cheaper contract than Michael Porter Jr. Great move for Denver. They brought back Bruce Brown. I never should have left Denver. They traded for Jonas Valanciunas. Mm-hmm. Got a real backup now at center. It's crazy because, I know you said you didn't view Jonas as a starter anymore. I still viewed him as a starter for certain teams, but shoot, you got him backing up Jokic. Hey, more power to you, right? Right. Who else did Denver get? Did they get anybody else yet? I can't. My brain's blanking. I don't know if they signed anybody else yet. But yeah, man, Denver, they've made some moves, man. They've made some moves. Houston's made some moves. Obviously, the Kevin Durant trade, and after all that, they brought in Dorian Finney-Smith on a 4-year, $45 million deal. They re-signed Clint Capella. They brought Clint Capella back. Dude, they have so many centers now. They just waived Jock Landale because they got, Şengün, Capella, Steven Adams. They re-signed him. Who else did they? I feel like they brought in somebody else too, right? Who am I blanking on? I can't.
Yeah, there's too.
I don't know, but Houston made some moves too. And obviously, you know, Denver, they are finally recognizing that, you know what, we can't just rely on Jokic, the best player in the world, to just figure it out with whoever we got, man. We got to build a team around him, right? Look back to how they won the chip the first time around. They had a bench, they had a squad, and now they are slowly but surely getting back to that now. So kudos to Denver. Houston, they are not just sitting on we traded for Kevin Durant. They're going out, they're bringing in players, they're making moves. And so, they signed Jabari Smith to a crazy rookie scale extension. Mm-hmm. I kind of felt like he needed one more year to prove himself. But be that as it may, hopefully, you know, in their mind, they're thinking Jabari Smith will learn under Kevin Durant, and then he will play his way into that contract and another max one, hopefully, down the road. So, yeah, man, if you're Houston, if you're Denver, you're definitely loving the moves the players y'all been able to bring in. And, you know, obviously, you got to gear up to try to beat OKC and dethrone them, right? Because OKC, they're going to be locked in for the next.
They got all their guys. Got these got draft picks. They'll be
Shea just signed that extension, so OKC's going to be locked in up top for the next 5 to 7 years at least.
Definitely,
unless God forbid any catastrophic injuries happen. So man, if you're in the West, man, you got to gear up.
No, the West gear up, and I think the NBA is still wide open in the sense because the West is so tough. It's always still competitive. It's competitive in a way that's anybody's game. In the East, while I think it's not as good as the West, it's kind of wide open,
very wide open,
and it just in a different sense. So I'm excited to see how next season shakes out.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Eastern Conference, the biggest move in the Eastern Conference, I think, is Miles Turner leaving Indiana for the Bucks. I did not see that coming. I really thought the Pacers were going to re-sign him. Mm-hmm. You know, all the talk was the Pacers lowballed him. I'm very curious to see what they offered him, though, because they had his bird right. So they could have offered him the most money.
And he's been in trade talks like his entire career.
Right,
if they wanted to get they could have got rid of him a while ago.
So I guess really it'll be interesting to see what Indy does at center now. I mean, they drafted Isaiah Jackson a few years ago. He's been good, but he's been in and out of the lineup with injuries and whatnot. Maybe he'll be their starter moving forward. I don't know. He's coming off an Achilles tear himself, so we'll see how that goes. The flip side of this move, which shocked me, and there have been talk of like the Bucks trying to trade Damian Lillard. Obviously, I mean. You being the Bucks, you would probably have to give up a haul to trade Damian Lillard coming off an Achilles tear. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get that the market was probably non-existent for him. So they decided to waive him, stretch out his contract to create cap space to sign Miles Turner. Mm-hmm. I guess, number one, do you like the fit of Miles Turner with Giannis? Like, let's get there first. Do you like that?
No, because I feel like I guess he is kind of similar, kind of guard. Yeah, so that's kind of they were trying.
He's a younger.
Yeah. So I guess the fit is there. I just hate Miles.
You don't want,
because it just grinds my gears to see him not rebound.
Hey, but maybe playing with Giannis that'll wake him up.
Well, Giannis will be getting all the rebounds.
Yeah, but hopefully Giannis will get in his, like, hey, man, you got to crash the glass too, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess we'll find out. But I think in terms of the whole Damian Lillard situation, it's kind of, do you like that for him, or what do you feel about it?
My initial thoughts when it happened, I'm like, well, what does this mean for Dame moving forward? Because he's out at least the next season, at least a good 2/3 of the next season, right?
Right.
I mean, yes, he can go wherever he wants, and he can go for a vet minimum deal because he's getting paid his $113 million contract from Milwaukee either way. Mm-hmm. So he can go. He literally has his pick of the litter. He can go wherever he wants. I've been talking. I had seen some of the reports. I can't remember the third team, but the Warriors and the Celtics are reportedly interested in Damian Lillard. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I hear Damian Lillard on Golden State, and that intrigues me.
Him and Steph.
Him and Steph. Steph could really. Now, here's the thing. Yes, Damian Lillard, he's, what is he, 30, 35, 36?
Right.
He's coming off an Achilles. I get it. A lot of things go when dudes get hurt. Shooting is not one of them for the most part, right?
That's true.
If you give Steph Curry a Damian Lillard, and Steph can really start to play off the ball now for real. Like, you know, when they brought in Chris Paul, it was like, oh, well, Steph can like play off the ball. But like, no. You give Steph Damian Lillard, they're both older, but you give Steph Damian Lillard, and Steph can legit play off the ball a good 75% of the time. And it's just, I mean, it's really pick your poison at that point, because if Dame is launching from 30, Steph launching from 30, it's really pick your poison at this point.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
that'd be a deadly duo.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna lie, that intrigues me. And you know, I got, you know, I'm talking to people about, I'm throwing that out there, and they're like, oh, like two old guards that don't defend, and I'm like, okay, but that's what you have a Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green for, right? Like they can supplement that defense for you. Yeah, so that intrigues me. Boston. You know, we kind of don't even know what Boston is doing right now. There's talk of them flipping Anthony Simons. They don't have a center to speak of right now because Luke Cornett signed with the Spurs. Mm-hmm. Kristaps, they traded Kristaps. They don't have anybody right now, right? Al Horford's still up in the air. They don't have anybody right now. Tatum is on the shelf for the next year. There's talk of them trading Derek White and Jaylen Brown. We spoke about this last episode. There's a lot up in the air right now for Boston, so I don't know if I don't know if a Damian Lillard fits into whatever picture they have right now, but Damian in Golden State, that intrigues me. I'm not gonna lie, that intrigues me.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see where he goes. I feel like you can make it work almost anywhere with Damian Lillard, and there's a lot of teams that could use him, especially just the kind of veteran presence he brings. Mm-hmm. So I think that with him being able to pick wherever he goes, I think that kind of, obviously it's in his best interest. He's really going to be able to sit back and decide, and he has the time with coming back from this injury. So when that decision is made, I'm going to be shocked, just because I feel like it'll be weird to see him in a play, because it was already weird to see him in Milwaukee.
And I think it was also like weird because like we know for a fact he didn't want to go to Milwaukee. He wanted to go to Miami.
Exactly.
Right? And
then now that's another reason why Golden State is intriguing, because you want to go to Miami just to play with Jimmy Butler at the time. Right. And who's now in Golden State.
Right. So. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Dame has thought about playing with Steph, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, shoot, he kind of had his poor man's version of that playing with CJ back in the day, right? Like, him and CJ, it was kind of just like, all right, man, pick your spots, and we just gonna pop it. You know what I'm saying? And it worked for Portland for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, with him, CJ, Nurkic,
Nick Batum.
Yeah, man. You know, they kind of had a squad for a minute. So, yeah. You know, all the talk is Dame, you know, he was already back in Portland rehabbing with his family and everything. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm not gonna lie, I felt like nervous for him, because I guess for him, this is the best case scenario, but it's also like, man, you know, it's not like a buyout and you can play right away, right? You popped your Achilles. This is the team you got traded to. All the talk was supposed to be you, and you're supposed to figure it out. It doesn't work out. Things go left. You pop your Achilles. You get cut. Yeah, you're still getting paid, but it's like, man, like I think Damian Lillard is definitely gonna have a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel for him in that regard. But hey, like we said, he has his pick of the litter. He can go wherever he wants. And if Golden State, you know, we talk about windows all the time with LeBron and everything, right? Like Steph, Golden State's, you know, Steph's window it's dwindling, right? But it's still there a little bit, but it's dwindling, man. If you want to go one last push, and if you can find a way to bring in a Damian Lillard, I mean, just think about it. You got Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler. Me personally, I like Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know where the disconnect is with him and Steve Kerr in Golden State. I don't know what that is. I don't know if he'll resign. He's a restricted free agent this summer. If I'm Golden State, I'm bringing him back, and I'm like fully investing in. Okay, he is our guy post Steph. I don't know if they'll do that. We'll see. But if they can bring him back, he'll also help on the defensive side of the ball. He's a good two-way player when he's locked in. You got Draymond Green. They still got to figure out the center spot. Which, I mean, there's still, some guys still available for trade. I'm going to say it again. Bulls fan here, Vooch. The Warriors were very interested in Vooch. They didn't want to give him a first-round draft pick. At this point, it is what it is. I'll take the best available offer for Vooch. If it's a Jonathan Kuminga, sign trade, or if it's a Moses Moody and a Buddy Hield, like whatever, bro. Like, I just, but, the Golden State Warriors, they got to fill up that center spot. But, I mean, yeah, if you can go get a Damian Lillard, and then, like, if you're, because Jimmy Butler caught flack because, once Steph got out, went down, and then he couldn't show up, or it wasn't there for him, to end their playoff run. I mean, if you're Jimmy Butler, that might be the best case scenario for you. You got Dame on one side, you got Steph on the other. All you gotta do is be the glue guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I'd like to see that. I'm not gonna lie. The more I talk about it, the more I like it. I'd like to see Dame in Golden State, but like you said, it'll be very interesting to see where he ends up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he has his pick, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah. I just thought about this. I'll ask you about it. The Knicks hired Mike Brown as their new head coach. Did you have any thoughts about that?
I've always thought Mike Brown was a good coach
Me
ever
too.
since his years with LeBron early on, but, I mean, he just has a really good team in New York, so I'm excited to see. He's definitely a decent coach. He's been around the league, had his fair share of. He's been in Golden State, he's coached his fair share of superstars. So with the New York team being kind of as good as they are with the people they have leading their team, I think he's a good candidate to lead them.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Mike Brown has been getting the short end of the stick a little bit. I mean, he coached the Sacramento Kings back to relevancy. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a hard thing to do. Like, the Sacramento Kings were dysfunctional before Mike Brown got there, and they're dysfunctional after Mike Brown got there, after Mike Brown got fired, right? So yeah. I'm just saying, man, I feel like he deserves more credit and like respect coming into this new gig with the Knicks than he's been getting. I like Mike Brown. If you're the Knicks, man, because they're talking about, like, is it really an upgrade from Tom Thibodeau? And
I definitely think so.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like we know what the deal is. We've seen this show with Tom Thibodeau time and time again. And if you're the Knicks, man, yeah, you got to go in a new direction. Mike Brown, hopefully he can figure out how to, get Jaylen Brown and Cat to play better consistently together. Like you said, they still have a good squad. I know Mikal Bridges' contract is kind of up in the air right now, so we'll see how that plays out. But, you got everybody else locked up for the next couple of years. So, we'll see what Mike Brown can do with the Knicks.
Definitely.
All right. Now we're going to flip gears a little bit because I want to get into this specific topic, but I want to, hear your thoughts on what his team is doing first. So flipping the script a little bit, going to the NFL. There was a trade that happened. The Pittsburgh Steelers traded Minka Fitzpatrick back to the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
For Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. Your thoughts and your initial reactions to that trade going down?
I thought that the Steelers kind of seem to be, they're just trying to move on. Not, they're just trying to, it shows me they're really trying to like step up and improve because last year, it was one of their worst seasons as of recent, but I think that they're really trying to, address some guys that they just felt like didn't fit anymore, moving on from George Pickens, moving on from Minka Fitzpatrick. I think that I'm not going to lie, that shocked me a little bit. I mean, I guess it's shocking, but it just shows that they are they're set on moving on and moving in a new direction. Yeah, and they're trying to making win now moves. Exactly. So but in terms of the The Dolphins, I don't think that's a bad move. I think Minka Fitzpatrick. I mean, he's still a really good player.
Yeah. I'm not laughing at that. I'm kind of laughing at the Dolphins because, I don't know if you've kind of been seeing it, but, like, I feel like all season so far, like, people have been kind of just, like, pooping on the Dolphins, the Dolphins culture and everything. Like, Raheem Mostert, the former running back for the Dolphins, now for the Raiders, he came out after the trade happened. He was like, become a Pro Bowler in Miami and they trade you. Like, what?
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Right. Kendall Lamb, former Eagle, then went to Miami and then came back, signed with us this offseason. It was like a fake quote, but, like, he had talked about, like, the difference between Miami versus Philly, and it's kind of like night and day, and how they operate, how they run things. And so, yeah, man, for Miami, it's kind of funny because, like, you drafted Minka, first-round draft pick.
Didn't want to pay him.
Right, didn't want to pay him, became a Pro Bowler for y'all, shipped him to Pittsburgh. Fast forward 5, 6, 7 seasons later, trade back for him, give up Jalen Ramsey, give up Jonnu Smith, which I gotta say, me personally, I'm not gonna lie, for the Steelers to trade for another tight end, I don't know what they're doing there, because now you have 3 tight ends who could legit probably be your number 1 tight ends.
Right.
And Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, and now Jonnu Smith. So I'm guessing somebody in that room is on the trading block.
Yeah. Didn't the Dolphins, they picked up a tight end after...
Yeah, Darren Waller. Darren Waller came out of retirement. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, Darren Waller came out of retirement. He said, I don't want to play for the Giants. Came out of retirement, gets traded to Miami.
Right.
Yes. So, yeah, they did pick up a tight end. We'll see how that goes. But, yeah, like you said with the Steelers, man, yeah, they're definitely in a win-now mode. The guy Aaron Rodgers, traded for DK Metcalf, traded for Jalen Ramsey. Excuse me. So, yeah, I definitely feel like they feel like they're in a win-now mode. Now, all this is in the midst of their best player, T.J. Watt, is in a contract holdout currently, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have a hot take here, which maybe not be so much of a hot take as I'm talking to more Steelers fans about it. I feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers should trade T.J. Watt.
Why?
Because you're not gonna pay him $40 million a year like Myles Garrett got, because that's what he wants. The Steelers literally they don't. That's not what they do, right? But forget that for a second.
Well, do you think he deserves that?
It's hard to argue against it. I mean, 2 seasons ago, he had 19.5 sacks. Last season, he had 11.5 sacks. He had 6 forced fumbles. It's hard to argue against it. He's 30. I think he's about to be 31. I think he deserves somewhere in that realm. I don't think he's like Myles Garrett is the echelon, right? Like, he is the tier. T.J. Watt is, like, right there. Would you agree?
I put them in the same tier.
But who do you like Myles Garrett's the better player.
I mean, I think if you just had to pick one, I would pick him, but I don't think
Myles Garrett?
But then since they're not on the same team, you don't have to pay, like, you don't have to.
No, I just.
He doesn't have to. You can pay him what you pay Myles Garrett.
Like, if you're asking me, am I paying T.J. Watt $40 million a year now? Golly, man, that's hard. I might. Oh my God.
I mean, we're in the situation, and I would absolutely give Micah $40 million a year.
Right now. Yeah. Well, yeah, because Micah, yes.
Well, he is younger.
He's younger. Yeah, it's hard.
That's because I think whether he deserves it, I think he does. TJ Watt, yes, and whether the Steelers are going to do it are 2 different things.
Yes.
Because if they're not going to do it, then yeah, I agree. They definitely should trade him.
Right. I'll take that out of it, though. If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I got Aaron Rodgers on a 1-year deal, 1-year rental. He literally came out and said, "This is probably my last ride. You should assume that it is." You traded for DK Metcalf. You traded for Jalen Ramsey. You're making all these win-now moves. I get it. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, after this season, you have no idea what your quarterback situation looks like, right? You're not going to be bad enough to have a top pick to go get one of the top quarterbacks coming out next year, right? Or at least we're assuming so, right? I don't think the Steelers I don't think they'll be bad at all. You trade T.J. Watt, you can literally get a draft haul. I'm thinking of a team like Detroit. I'm thinking of a team like Tampa Bay, right? If I'm Detroit and I can go pair Aiden Hutchinson on a rookie deal with T.J. Watt.
Do they have a good pick, a good draft pick?
Detroit?
Yeah.
Well, here's my logic. I trade if I'm Pittsburgh and I'm talking to Detroit, we're talking T.J. Watt. Let me get 2 first-round draft picks and a couple second and thirds, or maybe a second.
That's my thing. If their first-round draft picks aren't going to be good, it's not worth it.
Well, here's the thing: you package, Pittsburgh's draft pick and Detroit's draft pick or whatever. You package the picks to move up, so you can go get your quarterback in the future. Because that's the only way you're gonna. You know what I'm saying?
I'm only trading him for the picks, like
yeah.
Not to I'm not going to trade them for picks that then I have to trade again for.
Well, that's how it goes, man. Because
that's what when it's TJ Watt, you have to trade TJ Watt for the first overall.
Well,
pick.
Here's the thing though, because Detroit could use a TJ Watt. Like Detroit could use a TJ Watt.
Yeah, every team could use a TJ Watt.
Yeah, but Detroit, Tampa Bay. What other contending teams that are probably a piece away? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you can't trade. You're not going to be able to trade him to a contending team because they can't give you enough. That's worth it.
Here's my other thought. Steelers don't have a number 2 wide receiver right now currently. I'm not saying Detroit should or should not trade Jameson Williams. I don't know how much they love or do not love him, right? But if we can talk about a package around Jameson Williams, a first, a couple second and thirds for TJ Watt, to me, that's a conversation starter.
I don't think that doesn't make a lot of sense for Pittsburgh.
It doesn't?
In my opinion, no.
You don't think so? Because you pay TJ Watt north of $40 million a year.
No, I don't
Aaron Rodgers retires.
I think you trade him to a bad team who gives you a guaranteed first overall.
Well,
top 3
here's so who who's the Giants?
The Giants
or
the Jets. I don't know who's.
I mean, Atlanta could use a TJ Watt. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking I don't even think for Pittsburgh. I don't even think it would be about what team. I feel like Detroit is going to be a contending team is going to be more inclined to pull the trigger on the TJ Watt. You know what I'm saying?
I get the contending team wanting TJ Watt. I'm saying what the Steelers would get in return for TJ Watt isn't going to be enough for a contending team.
I don't think the compensation would be that different.
I think it would.
I think I legit feel like if the Pittsburgh Steelers called Detroit right now, if Omar Khan called Brad Holmes right now and said, TJ for your first for the next 2 to 3 years, your second and your thirds for the next 2 to 3 years.
When they win the Super Bowl and you just traded TJ Watt for the 32nd pick in the draft.
With who? In the Lions?
Yeah, that's not gonna. You can't do that.
Yeah, but okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? That you can package the picks.
Yeah.
Because if you have
I agree that, but I feel like that's too much work. You shouldn't. That's what I'm saying. You don't
I'm
do.
sorry, like what?
No, you don't do work with a player like that. You trade T.J. Watt for the second overall pick, the third overall. Like you can't.
I don't think you get.
You can't gamble on being able to move that around and hope you get the stuff in return. Hope you can trade that pick and certainly move up. He's too good of a player to not get that immediate return.
Who's the worst projected teams next year? The Browns. You're not going to trade to the Browns.
No, they don't need him.
The Giants. Who else? Who else is projected to be pretty bad?
I don't know what the Jaguars are doing. I don't know what the...
Yeah, I was going to say them. I don't...
It's just something.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't know. Like, the Giants have so, like if you're a bad team, right? Like, if you're literally one of the worst teams in the NFL, you have so many holes and you probably need a quarterback badly that, like, it's because, I mean, I don't even think it sounds crazy, but, like, you're not in a position to trade for a TJ Watt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that just kind of more drives up the market and kind of forces.
I guess for me,
the Steelers' hand to pay him.
I guess for me, if I'm Omar Khan, I don't mind doing a little bit more work to trade T.J. Watt, to make the right move for the organization, to make the right moves for the organization. I hear what you're saying, but if I can get a solid package from Detroit or Tampa Bay, maybe Tampa is willing to come off of Chris Godwin. So
the Saints, the Titans, the Jets, the Panthers, these are all just like the
yeah. I mean, maybe and part of it is also too, like, for me, I couldn't even fathom seeing T.J. Watt on any of those teams. I can stomach him on Detroit, Tampa. Who else? There was some talk, which I do not think this will happen. I do not want this to happen. There was, some talk of us making a move for T.J. Watt. That is not going to happen. Nolan Smith is not going anywhere. I would not trade Nolan Smith for T.J. Watt right now. I will stand on that. I would not do that. But if I'm the Steelers, man, yeah. If I'm the Steelers, at the very least, I'm taking calls. You already got Alex Highsmith locked up. He's your edge opposite of T.J. Watt. And T.J. Watt's backup, Nick Herbig, he's been pretty solid since they drafted him. He's been pretty solid. I think he could develop into a full-time starter. So, and obviously the Steelers are getting younger. They drafted Derek Harmon Jr., Cam Hayward's eventual replacement. So I think the Steelers are trying to get younger. And T.J. Watt, I think the iron is hot right now, and you need to strike while the iron's hot. Like, if it's any time for them to trade T.J. Watt, I feel like it's right now. So if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm at least taking calls.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, if you're not gonna pay him, for sure you you get as much as you can for him now,
right,
before he walks for nothing.
Right. Yeah, I guess we could touch on this real quick because you kind of brought it up. What's the situation with Micah's holdout? Is there any talk on that, or
no? Nothing. No more motion. Just like last season with Dak and CD, they're just waiting for the season to actually start. They want us to have a bullet on everybody's bulletin board. Oh my God, is Micah gonna sign? Is he gonna leave? We know he's not, and we're not gonna give you what you want, Jerry. We're not even gonna bring much attention to it. He's going to sign. You're just waiting it out till the season starts.
That must be infuriating as a fan.
I really
or
don't.
Like just tiring at this point, maybe.
I feel like it's more tiring, more so that everyone else hasn't caught on. They still fall for it, and it's just like it's so obvious. I don't understand why y'all even give it attention. If y'all could stop giving it attention, maybe it's like a little kid when they get hurt. Maybe if you wouldn't look at Jerry, he wouldn't do any of this stuff.
Well, not a little kid getting hurt. A little kid like doing bad stuff to try to get attention.
No, like when a little kid falls down, if you don't pay them attention, they're only gonna cry if you be like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" If you just act like nothing happened, they'll just get right up.
I'll say a good 35% of the time for that scenario.
It's just like that's a specific.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Well, before we get out of here, you wanted to speak about, and I didn't know this topic was coming back into the realm of conversations, but the MVPs that Steve Nash, which I'm not, as we spoke about before recording, maybe I might change my opinion on it. The MVPs that Steve Nash got over Kobe Bryant.
Yes, I think it's been an ongoing conversation. It's something that always gets brought up when mentioning Steve Nash is that he stole Kobe Bryant's MVPs. That's always been something I disagreed with. Not only do I not think that Steve Nash, I think he deserved his MVPs. I don't even think that if he were to quote unquote steal them, I don't think they were stolen from Kobe Bryant. I don't think he was even he was deserving. I don't think he deserved the MVPs. If you look at everything surrounding the actual if you look at the context, I know especially because it was back-to-back MVPs, and so definitely not the first one. The second one, I can more see it. The more so the argument, he averaged 35 points, albeit the Lakers were the 7th seed. But the first one, not. The Lakers had a losing record that year, and he averaged 27 points. There's no way you think that Kobe Bryant had a chance of winning an MVP with those numbers. And this isn't even. I know it's actually kind of. It's a thing right now. A lot of people with Gilbert Arenas, Tracy McGrady, people kind of the narrative around Kobe is kind of but this isn't even to disrespect him. It's just I don't think that.
Now hold on. What are you talking about? Because I saw.
Oh, they were just.
I saw Matt Barnes, him and Steven Jackson were kind of we're not here for the Kobe slam, but I haven't seen it though.
They're basically just saying that had they been given Shaq in their primes, they would have been able to win.
Gracious.
I don't think that's a crazy
statement.
I don't think it's a crazy statement, especially coming from them. I feel like them being who they are, it's very easy to think if you were given Shaq, you'd win. I think
that's fair.
I think it's a moot point. It's no point. Yeah. There's no point of having the argument. But
I will also say
I do think it is disrespectful to say that about Kobe at a time where he can no longer defend himself. I feel like I never heard them say that while he was here. So
right,
because as somebody who has argued LeBron versus Kobe and against him, I feel like that's been something it's been something that's been said to discredit him his whole career.
Yes,
and Gilbert Arenas kind of, I agree what he followed it up with is more so that people don't respect the second best player on the championship team as much as they do the first best player.
Yes.
That's just the truth if you look at throughout history.
That's fair.
Because Scottie Pippen also has 6 rings.
Yeah, but I feel like with Scottie specifically though, I feel like he gets his love as the best number 2. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing. Kobe, he won majority of his rings as the number 2,
right?
But then he's in the conversation with the best number 1 of all time.
Well, because he showed he was a number 2, right?
That's what I'm saying. But when it comes to those 3 championships, when you win it as the number 2 and you're in the conversation with the number 1s,
right?
That's how it's going to be. And so that was his point that the number 2 guy. But back to the Steve Nash thing, I think that he deserves those MVPs basically because of what he was able to do for the Phoenix Suns franchise. I know that let me look it up just to get the exact numbers because I know that they won 62 games.
Yeah.
The year he won.
I'm gonna get this off while you look those numbers. I'm gonna say this: Tracy McGrady had a pretty solid running mate in his cousin and Vince Carter, and he chose the lead. I just want to throw that out there.
Vince Carter's not Shaq.
No. But
I think Tracy McGrady's best chance was in Houston.
Tracy McGrady, but like he didn't even give Toronto a chance to like.
Tracy McGrady never won a playoff game.
That's what I'm saying. Playoff series. He never won a playoff series. No, but that's what I'm saying though. Like, I don't know what Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter could have done in their prime had they both stayed in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know what happens.
Right. But I think their argument is because I think
and
that
Gilbert Arenas.
I think that you can't. I think that it's true that they would have
had more success. Yes.
Yeah. But I think that not having Shaq is not why they didn't.
Like
have
that's
success.
that's a cop out.
Yeah.
That's a cop out. And it's not like Tracy McGrady wasn't on good teams. Gilbert, you could make the argument. You know, he was Golden State at first, and then Washington. He had a couple solid runs in Washington, but they, it's the Wizards. They never really knew how to build a team. They still don't. So it's a cop out to me at this point, man. It's a cop out. I mean, I hear you on this. I hear you on the Steve Nash. So for you, the biggest thing was just like building up a bad franchise.
They won 29 games the season before, and then had back-to-back. They won 62 games in the first seed the 1 year, and then 54 games the next year. And so the 54 games, that's the year I feel like is the best argument. But at the same time, like I said, Kobe Bryant, he averaged 35 points, which is insane. But at the same time, if you look at just the context of the MVP award, you've never seen a 7 seed win MVP.
Westbrook did. I believe
that was the
triple double.
The first time, and that was I do agree. But up until that point, you had never seen somebody. And when Westbrook did it, he literally averaged a triple double, which is something we hadn't seen since Oscar Robertson did it.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like that kind of that's not an asterisk there, but in terms of like that's why he was able to do something like that, able to win MVP as a 7th seed.
Right.
So I just think that. I feel like it's like we were saying about Kobe saying like, oh, they could have done what Kobe did. I feel like that's disrespect. I feel like Steve Nash has been disrespected in an insane way his entire career because of that.
Okay, because of the MVPs.
Yeah.
I think it's just. I mean, where does Steve Nash? I mean, where is he for you? Like all time, like if you like all time point guards, where is he for you? Is he top 5? Is he top 10?
He's not top 5.
Is he top 10?
No, he might be like right outside the top 10.
Okay, so yeah, is he in the Hall of Fame?
If he's not, he will be, or he should be.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely.
I was a fan of Steve Nash's game. I was, he was a maestro. You need an efficient scorer. You know what the thing is with Steve Nash though? He should have took more shots.
Yeah,
he should have took more shots because he was a great outside shooter. He just didn't take a lot of shots. And Mike D'Antoni, he tried to get him to do it, but so you think generally speaking, Steve Nash gets underrated?
Yeah, and then another because I know a lot of the. People will say, well, he had Amari Stoudemire in that team. Well, that was a big
Amari
thing.
Stoudemire, Sean Marion.
In those seasons. And
Jason Richardson, too.
That's the first season, he had Amari Stoudemire. They won 62 games. Then that second season, Amari Stoudemire only played 3 games.
Yeah.
In the entire season.
You still had Sean Marion, Jason Richardson. Was Quentin Richardson on that team, too?
Those are good, like, rotational people.
Yeah, I'm just like, he had a good team around. That's all I'm saying. I'm not, he had a good team around. That's all I'm saying.
Because, like, I mean, think about it. He didn't have another superstar on the team with Amari Stoudemire being gone.
What? How would you view Sean Marion back then?
The superstar.
But he was an all-star.
What year was he an all-star?
I know Sean Marion made some all-star teams. And I know he was a two-way menace. But I mean, yeah, no, Phoenix. I mean, they had good squads. You had a good coach in Mike D'Antoni. That was, he started to implement that
the triangle and the run and gun.
Yeah. The 7 seconds or less.
Yeah,
the 7 seconds or less offense. So yeah, no, I mean, Phoenix, they had a good run. Man, do I think Steve Nash is underrated? Generally speaking, I don't know. Okay, when Steve Nash, when he went to the Lakers, how did you feel about his run with the Lakers? Playing with Kobe,
I felt like he was old.
Yeah.
At that point. I felt like he was having a lot of back issues that year, I think it was.
Yeah.
And so, not to mention, so that's another thing I've always wondered. If you look at the MVP voting for the 04 and 05 season,
what's the results?
Kobe Bryant's not on here.
He's in the top 5? He's not on there?
He's not in the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There's Shaq in the top 5?
Shaq is second. Yep. Dirk is third. Tim Duncan's fourth. Allen Iverson's fifth. LeBron sixth. Tracy McGrady seventh. D Wade's eighth. Amari Stoudemire's ninth. Ray Allen's Amari Stoudemire, Ray Allen tied for ninth.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett, Gilbert Arenas, Vince Carter, P.J. Brown, Marcus V. Sean Marion. Kobe wasn't even
in
the conversation.
That was when the Lakers had a losing record or the 7th seed?
Yes, they had a losing record. And then, like I said, and then I said before we started, the second one, I think that if he robbed anybody, he robbed LeBron. Second, in the second year, LeBron was second, Dirk was third, Kobe was fourth that year, Chauncey Billups, D. Wade, Elton Brand. But that was the year, let me go. I'm pretty sure that was the year the Cavs also won 60 games. Or no, I think LeBron won MVP those years, but let me see. Because
that's what, 06?
That was 05, 06.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I did think Steve Nash, before, I did feel like he had stole those MVPs from Kobe, but...
Yeah, that year LeBron averaged 31.4 points. Mm. Cleveland won 50 games. He averaged 7.
What was Phoenix's record?
I think Cleveland won 50 games. Phoenix won 54.
Yeah, in the West too, man. It's kind of like.
But I don't think he robbed LeBron. I think he deserved.
You think he deserved? Yeah.
I think that if he robbed anybody, it would have been LeBron.
I think the biggest thing is just I guess the face value of it, right? And everybody's MVP is, every MVP season it's a unique situation, it's a unique story, right? When you look at Steve Nash's, we were looking at the numbers before we recorded. You look at 18, 10, and I think, what was it, 5, something like that? Or 18?
Like 18, 12.
12, yeah. And then you look at Kobe, 35 jumps off the screen, right? It just does, right? Because you see that, it's like, man, this guy won the MVP averaging 18 and 10? What? Like I said, I hear Steve Nash, and I think now, I think of a Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
I think Tyrese Halliburton is Steve Nash that takes more jump shots. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I think it wouldn't have been crazy had, when the year before they drafted, not before they traded for Tyrese Halliburton, the Indiana Pacers were a 20-something win team. If they were, and then Tyrese won 62 games, he would absolutely be in the MVP conversation.
Do you think in today's NBA? Because Tyrese, in the regular season, he averages this past season he averaged, I think, 19 and 11 or whatever. Do you think those numbers, even given the scenario you just laid out, right? Indy was a 15, 20 win team before. They jumped to it. They make the finals that they make now. Do you think with those numbers you get real consideration for MVP in today's NBA?
Say he did that in this year's, I still think he would have lost MVP to Shea.
Yes.
But it's because he was averaging 30-plus points, but on the best team in the NBA.
Yes.
Even if Tyrese would have got them to a similar record, if you have the numbers and the record, you're going to win the MVP. The Kobe, he had the numbers. Their just team record wasn't good enough.
He was less efficient than Steve Nash too.
Yeah. So it was, but I think that yeah, somebody like that could win MVP today's NBA. It's just the numbers guys who are like beating them that wise. They wouldn't be able to have the team success.
Yeah. I mean, because it's so easy to score nowadays.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy to score. So it's like, hey, how you win MVP putting up 19 and 11 when I got a guy averaging 32 and not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy. So, but you know, I'll give it to you, man. I think you have swayed me. I don't feel like he robbed Kobe. I don't think Kobe deserved him anymore at this point. Now that we looked at the numbers and talked about it in context. And God, so you really think Steve Nash is like underrated?
I think he's rated correctly all the time. I just think it's disrespect to
The
say
MVP.
he didn't deserve his MVPs.
Yeah. I mean, because when you think of Steve Nash, like other comparable guys, right? Jason Kidd.
Yeah. Chris, I think they're a tier under Chris Paul, but like Darren Williams could have been like kind of on that trajectory.
Now, see, hold on. You think Chris Paul is the better player compared to Steve Nash?
Yeah.
Why?
I just think that because he's assist wise, he is still like passing ability is still there, but he
Nash
takes more jump
heck
shots.
of a passer though.
So was Chris Paul.
No.
I'm saying they're equally there, but I think Chris Paul just scoring wise was more of a threat because, like you said,
I think he was just more aggressive.
He didn't take the jump shots, but he's more aggressive.
Yeah. Okay. You know what, Steve Nash? In my book, you deserve those MVPs, sir. So hats off to you on that. Man. I did not think I'd end this episode saying that, but you have swayed me, sir. Good job. I'll give you kudos for that. And with that being said, folks, it's another episode of Birds at the Rodeo.
Yep.
Eric, your resident Eagles fan.
I'm Orlando, the resident Cowboys fan.
And you can catch us anywhere. You can find podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Yep.
Please like, comment, subscribe, follow us, give us comments. Even if you're not even talking about what we're talking about, because some of y'all are doing that right now.
Talk about whatever you want. Listen to what we say. And spit back whatever you want.
Take it and run with it.
That's clearly what some of you guys do.
Yes, take it and run with it. So with that being said, thank you. And until next time, peace.
Later.
Jabbar with a stroke of genius.